hopefully you will study them if you need to. You will see that one camera is a little bit skewed. I'm gonna have a better setting next time, but you can see everything. Okay, anyone would like to help us decide what to do next? What would be our first step here? What would you recommend? Any suggestions? It's okay if you're wrong. Anyone?
To get it more complicated.
So I'm hoping that your suggestion is good, but I didn't hear it. I'm so sorry, because Kevin and Malaika, they both said the same thing. I mean, they talked at the same time, so you may both be correct. I don't know. You want to try again? Okay, Kevin, she's saying that you can speak up for us. You're muted.
So I said move everything to one side.
It's a good idea in general, not in this case. So only because we are solving for this variable. So what we have to do, we have to find the least common denominator on the right hand side. That's our mandatory step. Can anyone give us the least common denominator on the right hand side?
Is it R1 times R2?
Of course, it must be. Now, R1 was multiplied by
R2.
Very good. R2 was multiplied by, we have to do the same thing to the top. If we multiply the denominator by R1, I have to multiply the numerator by R1. So now the numerator becomes R2 plus R1. This is a proportion. In a proportion, we can flip both. And we're done. So this is only in a proportion. I flip the left hand side, I flip the right hand side. And it's done. But I have to bring it to this step. I cannot flip here because this is not a proportion. A proportion means one fraction, and the equal symbol. But this is not a proportion. This is one fraction and two fractions. Now it is a proportion. Once I found the least common denominator, I change this into a proportion. And yes, in a proportion I can flip. It's the same thing, B over A equals D over C. As long as I flip both at the same time. But I have to turn it into a proportion first. I won't be able to do this otherwise. Any questions? I know we have 2 minutes left, so let's finish up with the last one. This is 70, and then we'll stop. A equals P, 1 plus RT. They want us to solve for R. After this one, we'll stop. We didn't finish what we wanted to accomplish. I would like you to start this homework, but you cannot finish it because we haven't finished it. But just start and do whatever you can and bring questions to class. No, this is 6, sorry. Okay, so how do I proceed to solve for R? What do I have to do? What will be our first step?
distribute?
Yes, of course. Thank you. P plus PRT. Next step. Next step is A minus P, and finally R equals A minus P over PT. Final question and I'll stop. Can I simplify this P with this P? I want to cross these two out.
No.
No, of course not. Because this is a term and this is a piece of a factor. We can never simplify terms with factors.